Well, good morning. My name's Peter Roper, and I'm joined by Anna Simpson. And if I can turn the music off, I will. So, good morning to this. And I think we've already got a visitor. We've got young Jamie Pratt that's come in to watch us as well. Good morning, Jamie. We'll get you to join us afterwards. We're having one or two. I say we, it's a royal wheel. I'm having one or two technical issues this morning. So you're going to not see a lot of me on picture, but you're going to be seeing a lot more of Anna, which makes far more sense anyway.
Oh,
So
stop it, Peter.
bless you. So over this next 60 minutes, we're going to give you some ideas, some tried and tested and proven tips and techniques on how to speak with impact and elevate your business. At the end of it, we will unashamedly let you know about a program that we're running. But certainly for the next 57 minutes, we'll let you know what we think about speaking, how you can improve it, things that you can do and to make a difference. This is currently live on YouTube and on Facebook. And on LinkedIn as well. So for those of you that are joining us on that as well, do drop us a comment. Let me know that you're there. And if there's anything specific you want to know, we'll try and answer it during the program. And we'll go from there, I guess. Anna, good morning.
Yes. Thank you. Good morning, Peter. Thank you. I'm really excited for this. It's going to be a great session. And, we are going to do our magic because we love speaking. We're going to share our stories. But what I encourage you to do is to think about how those ideas and those insights relate to you, because you can have some aha moments. You will, if you stay present. And simple ideas can massively, massively change your life. So with that being said, let me just say a few words about Peter Roper, my business associate. And I'm so grateful to be doing this with him because he is a man of many gifts and talents. And he doesn't really need an introduction if you know him. But if you don't, he has been in business for nearly 40 years. He's absolutely passionate and knows a thing or two about building and growing successful businesses and helping others grow their businesses. He has had over that time about 6 businesses, 3 of which were really successful, and the other 3 not so much. But guess which ones he learned from more valuable lessons. He has worked with thousands of family business owners across the UK, helping them grow and develop. Now, Peter is not only passionate about entrepreneurship, he also knows from experience what creates success. He also knows a thing or two about speaking, having shared his keynotes and presentations in front of 750,000 delegates worldwide, nearly a million people. Imagine that. That's what I want to be, who I want to be when I grow up. And he has served as the national president of the Professional Speakers Association in the UK in 2009. He was a board member for a number of years in the PSA, and he is a fellow speaker. Mr. Roper has earned the reputation of being a natural speaker simply because you get the same Peter Roper on stage and off stage. He is the author of 6 books, including the New York Times bestseller And Death Came Third, which actually became a bestseller in the first 12 hours of the book release. Imagine that, an interesting fact. And he's going to tell you more about that. It's a fascinating book. Now, Peter will inspire you. He will educate you. He will entertain you. And he will equip you with practical tools to elevate your results. Now, the most important thing is that he's a person of integrity, and he has a big heart. He cares. So please help me welcome to the virtual stage of this webinar, the one and only Peter Roper.
Oh, bless you, Anna. Thank you for that. I will just add this onto here and let's just push a button here and go onto a full screen. So thank you for that very kind welcome, Anna. And it's great to be spending some time with you and working with you. I'm really looking forward to it. I'll let you know everybody a little more about Anna later on, but let's just get into a few things first of all. And that is Do you want to grow your business with confident speaking? And the reason why I say that is really simple, which is most people do want to do that. And a lot of people wish they could do that. And a lot of people don't do anything about it. So the whole idea of this 60 minutes is to give you a couple of ideas that will help you. And also perhaps you might need some more individual help, which we'll let you know about at the end of the program. But let's ask the obvious question, all right, which is why you're here. Why are you here? It's the why is one of the smallest words, one of the the 6 serving men of Rudyard Kipling. Asking the question why is always a tough question. If you're watching this now on live, through LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube, what have you, you're spending 60 minutes of your life. So why are you doing that? Why are you spending 60 minutes of your life? Well, my experience is that it's probably maybe to improve your career. So, if you're in an employed situation, you want to take your business forward. I've worked with many people who've said, I just want to get my voice heard inside the organization that I'm working for, whether it's a small, medium or large business. I want to be heard. And I know that standing up and actually making my voice heard is the thing that I have to do. So if it's to improve your career, the good news is we can help you with that. Likewise, get more business is the one that most people want to know, particularly from me, about how do I get more business? Well, one of the key ways of doing that is to get good on your feet. And whether you like it or not, if you are running your own business, you are a mouthpiece for your own business. And if you're a mouthpiece, the better you are at it, the better opportunities to attract the sort of people you want to. And, one of my phrases on the new website that I'm about to have launched, it's a phrase I've used for ages, which is to attract people who are good at what they do. They're good to work with, appreciate you for what you're worth, and pay you what you are worth. And isn't that what we all want? We want to work with clients who are great to spend time with, who appreciate what we actually do for them. And you know what? They're happy to pay the bill in a timely fashion because they appreciate you. So getting more business is in that respect is the way of standing up and speaking in front of people to attract the sort of people you really want. And if that's what you want, then yes, we can help you to become the authority in your field. Now, this is just a gratuitous picture that I put in just briefly, because I'm waiting for the sun to come because I'm a summer man, not a winter person. Anna is very happy in this cold weather because she's from Ukraine. Me, I'm a mamby-pamby Englishman. I'm waiting for the sun to arrive. But actually being the authority in your field, if you look at that picture, what it's really telling you is there's an awful lot of the same thing in that field. How on earth do you make yourself stand out? Well, one of the key ways of doing that, and that's the experience I've had over now 28 years of being in my own business, is there is no doubt one of the ways to become recognized as an authority is to be somebody who stands up and talks about the subject in a correct manner. In other words, you've got the track record to back it up. Speaking helps you to do that enormously. Maybe it might just be for recognition. It might just be for recognition. It might just be so that when you stand up, people show their appreciation for you. I was enjoying the company of somebody pretty recently, and that they are one of life's wonderful people who do what they do regardless of the commitment and effort that they put in. They do it anyway, and just occasionally they wanted to feel that they wanted to be recognized. They didn't want to make a song and dance about it, but they wanted to be able to show not just the recognition for themselves, but for the stuff that they're actually doing and the story behind it. And Anna and I are big on stories. Stories are the key to everything. Perhaps that's it for you. Maybe you're working, say, for a charity, for instance. When we ran this session a few days ago, somebody got in contact with us who wants to run with the program that we're running, runs a community interest program. And they want that program to be recognized. They want what they're doing to be recognized. And again, getting on your feet and being good at it and good at explaining to people why they should recognize the charity or community program they're running. One of the easy ways of doing it, or I say easy, but one of the simplest ways is to speak in public, to be good at it. But what's holding you back? And I say that because I'm talking probably to you right now, and that's amazing how many people are held back by speaking in public. It holds them back so much. And people look at me and go, "Oh, Peter, you've spoken in front of hundreds of thousands of people. Anna, you've spoken in front of some amazing audiences. I could never do that." Well, actually, yes, you could. And I remember the time when I was being held back because everyone looks at me, and Anna kindly introduced me as known as one of the two things I'm known for, which is being known as a natural presenter. Is that I get nervous when I speak. Always. In fact, if I don't get nervous, there's something wrong. The nerves should be there, but I know what I'm doing with them, if that makes sense. And I think that's true with all of us, with everything that we do. Speaking in public, though, does hold you back. What sort of things might be holding you back? Maybe it's lack of knowledge. Perhaps it's experience. Perhaps it's experience and knowledge of the thing that you do, or perhaps it's not that. You've got all that. It's just the fact you haven't got the knowledge or experience of standing up in front of people. And it's like anything, the more you do it, the more comfortable you will be and the better you will get. Maybe it's just that you can't believe in yourself. You don't believe you can actually do it, that you can actually stand in front of a group of people or on a stage of 1,000, a 1,000 audience, and you're thinking, I could never do that. And if I had £1 for every time I heard somebody say that to me. Yet the funny thing is, they'll then turn around to me and say, do you know what? It's all right for you. You can do that. You just breeze on and talk. Well, that's not strictly true, is it? However, most people are held back by one thing and one thing only. And this is the gratuitous picture coming up for Anna's benefits. There you go. There's a cat, because she's a big cat person. That's quite a big cat, actually. And that picture scares me to death. But there you go. The number one reason that people get nervous about the whole gambit of speaking in public is fear. They're scared. And the book that Anna mentioned earlier on, which is a book called And Death Came Third, and I co-wrote it with a guy called Andy Lapata back in 2006. It took us a couple of years to write. And yes, it became a bestseller in 12 hours, which is kind of cool. All about networking and speaking in public. People say, what the heck's that title about? And Death Came Third. Well, it's true that in a 1984 New York Times survey of our top 10 fears, snakes came seventh, spiders came sixth, and death came third. Can you believe death came third? Walking into a room full of strangers, typically a business networking event, or speaking in public, number one and number two. And guess what? They run that survey every year. Speaking in public and walking into a room full of strangers comes up as number one and number two over and over again. So much so that they've got to a point where they don't do it because it keeps coming up. The reality is, we'd rather leap into a pit of snakes and spiders and die than speak in public, which is bonkers. It's totally bonkers. But it's a very real fear. And I recognize that fear. I understand that fear absolutely. So here's a picture, not of me, but it's a picture I found on the net one day. And it kind of looks a bit like me. I have no idea what else it's about. But what I want you to picture is a young me. And that's quite hard to do because, of course, I'm 67 years old. But when I was back at the tender age of 11, I had a haircut pretty similar to that, and that's kind of how we were dressed, or we were in a school jacket. And I was the kid that I didn't particularly enjoy school. I wasn't particularly good at it. But the one thing I could do was be the kid that would pick up the book and read out to the class. It was the one thing I could do. And from when I was a little tot, I could kind of do that. And so it used to fall to me to do that. And I was in an English lesson one day, and I was 11 come 12 in a boys' state grammar school. And the English teacher asked me to read out a poem. Now, you have to understand the English teacher really didn't like me very much. And I got to be honest, I really didn't like him very much either. And I read out a very famous poem called Tiger, Tiger by William Blake. And I started with my best Birmingham accent, which was Tiger, Tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night. And he stopped me and said, when I finished reading it, and he said, Roper, what is the poem about? And I said, it's about a tiger, sir. And he looked at me and said, you are a cretin with a Birmingham accent. Sit down and never read out in this school again. So the one thing I could do in school suddenly was taken away from me. And I never did speak up in front of the school again. And people, I listen to that story and I get a 50-50 response. Either I get people that go and start falling about laughing because they remember something that happened to them in school in a similar way. And the other 50% say that was terrible. And what it did do for me was that there's no way I was going to stand up in front of anybody. And yet, and this is another picture off the net because I couldn't possibly get a picture of what actually happened. Fast forward a few years later, I was working for a motor manufacturer. I was 19, maybe 20. And I was asked to go on a training program. And part of that I found out was that there needed to be a presentation to the whole the works where I was. And I fell into being stitched up to making that presentation. They then told me it was going to be in front of 1,000 people on a stage like that. And I was terrified, absolutely terrified. And in those days, you just read out from your notes. There were no PowerPoints or anything else because it was years ago. And I found every excuse under the sun to not go on that day. And I eventually did get there. And I read out what had been produced for this survey. And in the audience was my boss, because I was in a very lowly position. My mother would say that I was already, a senior person, but I wasn't. I was a very lowly person, just above getting the toast, basically. And my boss, my boss's boss, and my boss's boss's boss was in the audience. And certainly the boss's boss, no one had ever talked to them because they were directors, very, very important people. And I read out this stuff and I'd been stitched up because what I was reading out effectively was going to upset them greatly. And I could see they were getting more and more angry and upset with me. And I looked in the corner of the audience for some friends to give me, some encouragement while I was reading. And you have to understand that I was at a lectern and I was holding on to this lectern for grim death. My legs had gone. I was literally holding on to it. I could hardly turn a page. And I managed to keep reading out. No microphones either. So I had to project. And something happened. It was a small trigger, but something happened to me on that day. And what happened was that every time I looked at my friends, their eyes dropped and they wouldn't look at me directly. And I thought they were just, and then I looked at the boss and the boss's boss and the boss's boss's boss. And although I could see they were unhappy, every time I looked at them, their eyes dropped. And then I noticed the same thing happened with most of the people in the audience. And the reason that was, I realized, was that they didn't want to speak in front of an audience either. And death came third, absolutely was there. And it was the start of a very long, winding process for me. But it taught me that most people didn't want to speak and present. And if you fast forward through my career in corporate, when I worked my way up the corporate ladder to director level, quite how I did that, I don't know, but I did. And then started my own business, my own career. The one thing that I knew that I needed to do was that I needed to learn. I needed to learn. And I became a student of speaking and standing up because I realized that it was something that I wanted to do, enjoyed doing. I was scared of it, but I also knew that I could get better at it. And so I did loads of programs, the old days of cassettes and CDs. I have read an awful lot of books over the years. And I joined the Professional Speaking Association. It's a story for another day, but I fell into that and made some fantastic long-term friends through it over the last 24 years. And yes, the truth was I've worked my way up and became a PSA Hall of Fame speaker, which is a nice thing to be called. But the key for me with this, and it doesn't matter where you're starting in life, the important thing is to understand that you have to go to school on this just as you have to with anything else, because nothing good ever comes easy. You have to go and educate yourself. So for me, I went on to all sorts of programs. I read all sorts of books, as I said, and I got myself around people who knew what they were doing. And by doing so, through osmosis, I started to learn from them as well. And I know that Anna's going to share with you some of her story, and she has gone through exactly the same process, and it is the only way long term. So it doesn't matter where you're coming from. It might not be that you want to become a keynote speaker across the world. It might be you want to make a presentation that's important to you. It might be at a school. It might be at a charity of some sort. It might be for your business. It might be because you're employed in the business. It doesn't matter what the level is. The important thing is that you're open to learning and open to improving. And if you can do that, then we can help you. And that's, to me, the important thing. And talking about that, if you're looking for a proven platform with trusted experts, well, we are that. We are that. And, we have a track record, and well-established track record. And yes, we know we can help you if you're open to the suggestion of that. But let me be clear, and let me be clear on behalf of Anna and I, and that is we're totally adverse to unethical selling. And so all these selling programs that you see every single day, if you've got an email, you are inundated by people saying, particularly if you're running your own business and you want to improve your business, you're going to get inundated with suggestions that you can go and earn £10,000 a minute ever so easy, and all you got to do is do this. Well, that's not what we're saying at all. We're just totally averse to that. What we're saying is that we do have a program we'll tell you about at the end, and simply we'll share the information with you. And if you want to know more, brilliant, we'll talk to you about it. All right. Because that's it. That's how that's what's important. It's not. It's all these other sales processes that are being done, particularly on the internet, are not the way it works. If you want to be able to stand up and speak and present for you, for your business, for those that it's important for you to do, then yes, we can help you. And yes, there's a program we can help you with. So I hope that's useful for you. We know that our program can unlock your potential. We know it can unlock your potential and improve you, which means potentially it will elevate your business, and it will elevate the process of whatever you're doing. And I think it's important to understand, he says, trying to switch off whatever's in the background making a noise, but there you go. I can't shut it up. Never mind. I've done it now. There you go. My apologies, everybody. I thought I'd turned everything off. I'm having a techie day today. And apparently it's telling me it's all good. That's great. Anyway, look, hey, we're not perfect, are we? Fortunately, we have a real professional. That's Anna that's going to come on in a second. And I will shut up and get rid of this program here and come back to you here. We are having some techie issues this morning. The broadband's going up and down like a yo-yo, but never mind. I want to introduce you to Anna Simpson. Now, there's a story here. I'll keep the story short. I swim 3 times a week at a local swimming bath. I met a guy called Christian Simpson, who is a high-end coach and runs a fantastic coach training program. And we were chatting away one day, and he said, "You really ought to meet my wife, Anna." And because she is very involved in what you do and vice versa. And so Anna and I have had good conversations together, and we realized we could bring something unique. Anna can bring the fact that she's a millennial and female. I can bring the fact that I'm male and old. What that really means is that we
wise. You wanted to say wise.
Wise. That's old and wise. That's a music lyric. Yes, old and wise. We can bring a unique perspective. That's an important thing. Anna has been speaking as a passion for some years now. Her journey from Ukraine, from poverty in Ukraine, where everybody as a child said, you have no money, getting things like water was challenging. And she had a dream to go to America, and everybody around her said, "You'll never do that." Well, if you meet Anna, you'll realize that she is a driven individual, and through hard work, effort, and saving every penny she could make, she made her dream happen and moved to America. And then found out that the American dream is not as simple as it first looks. We have a son and family in America. We know and understand that. And she ended up working 3 jobs, thinking, what is this really all about? Is this the American dream? And then she realized that her passion was to stand up and speak in front of people. And she went to school. She went and learned about speaking and standing up in front of audiences. And she spent all the time and effort that she could and money to become really good on her feet. And through a set of circumstances, she met an English bloke called Christian Simpson, and that's how they got married. And she became dragged from America, having become an American citizen, dragged from America to the UK, and they literally live a handful of miles away from us. Anna's career is phenomenal. She'll tell you more about it, but she shared some stages with some very, very well-known speakers. And our shared passion is to stand up in front of people and speak. But our real passion is to help others to do it and to help them with their story. And that's the thing that really links us together. It is all about the story, and particularly when you're talking about speakers. So I'm going to shut up, hand you over to Anna Simpson, and I'm going to just add this, which is, remove this. So that's done. I'll let Anna bring her own presentation onto base, and over to you, Anna.
Thank you, Peter. That was a great introduction. Now I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I have to live up to all of these expectations. No pressure. But yeah, absolutely. I'm passionate about speaking. I'm passionate about storytelling and really helping people find clarity and confidence in their voice, because it can change your life. It has changed mine. Now, my story is not just about overcoming challenges from poverty in Ukraine to pursuing an impossible dream in America, but it's also discovering my identity, finding clarity and certainty in my voice, looking for a place where I belong, what I could do with my life, how I could contribute, all those existential questions. And during that time, during my soul searching moments, when I was carrying trays with dirty plates and glasses and serving some arrogant, ungrateful customers and smiling to them when I really wanted to cry and hide, I discovered my passion for speaking. And I started sharing my stories in front of American audiences in different groups. I would speak anywhere and everywhere. They would have me. And at first, I was absolutely rubbish. I nearly fainted at my first public speaking presentation. There were about 20 people, but it's actually like having spoken in front of thousands of people. It's much more challenging to speak in front of a smaller group, especially when you are starting. But as Peter said, because of these stretching moments and because of these challenging situations, you grow, you develop, and you realize what you're capable of. And to my surprise, I was quite curious about the fact that people found my stories interesting, inspirational, and motivational. Because no matter where we come from, what our background, our language, our culture is, we all share the same dreams, the same aspirations. We all have the same fears. And actually, in all this, like, we're all human beings. We are different in so many ways, but we are the same at the core, at the heart and soul level. And an interesting thing I realized is that it's our stories that make us unique, that make us stand out. So in the context of what you do, whether you are in a career or in a business, you probably are providing the services that many other companies provide. But what makes you stand out, what makes you unique, what differentiates you among all the noise on the marketplace is your voice and is your story. So let's talk about that, how to clarify it, how to magnify it, and how to make sure you truly connect with the people you want to connect. As Peter Roper said, wouldn't that be wonderful to be able to attract the right kind of people, nice people, hardworking people with the right values? Well, you have the power to do that, leveraging your biggest asset, which is your voice. Now, why speaking? Apart from the reasons that Peter Roper mentioned, I'm going to talk about the context of business, right? Because we are in business. And every business owner and every company for that matter, they want more clients and more money, which is a fair aspiration because that's how success is measured traditionally. It gives oxygen to the business and creates growth. However, that's not where the journey begins. I'm going to do some drawings on my iPad, so I hope you're okay with that, and explain what I mean. So if you imagine an analogy of an iceberg, everything above the water level is shallow, and everything below the water level is deep. And you can't be shallow and deep at the same time. Now, a shallow approach to growing or scaling a business or growing in your career, at least it's shallow thinking. And the greatest form of a shallow thinking in the context of business is asking a question, well, how can I get more clients and make more money? How can I add to the top and bottom line? And we know that that's not where the journey begins. Again, it's a fair aspiration, but that's it's only 10% of what's happening with an iceberg. And no matter how much wind and storm you blow at the tip of an iceberg, it's always going to move in the direction of the base. Now let's talk about a deeper approach. So if you want to make change, if you want to create transformation and actually make sure there are more clients and more business and more money, you have to go a little bit deeper. So a deep approach to growing and scaling a business elicits deeper thinking. And the greatest form of deeper thinking is asking a question: how do I connect with my audience in an ethical and authentic way? One thing that Peter and I share, and we want to work with people who share the same values, is authenticity and ethics. So when you ask this question, what is the true meaning of the impact I provide? You get a different perspective. And most people don't ask that question. And that's where public speaking comes into play. That's where sharing your message and sharing your stories come into play. Most people operate at this shallow level. Like, just show me the how, show me the tools, give me the way. But that's not where the journey begins. So I believe also it gets even deeper than that. I want you to imagine what your business and your life would look like if you had the clarity on how to express the value of what you do with power and authentic persuasion. Right? It's not about pushing. It's not about forcing people. It's not about manipulating. That I'm sure you have seen on the marketplace in droves that people are trying to manipulate others just to get their money. It's about authentic persuasion because you clearly express the value of what you do in a way that makes your audience get it. Like, they get it and they see the potential of working with you. What would that mean to you to have these three things: clarity, value, and persuasion, and how to express them with confidence, certainty, and power? If that is important to you, please share with us. Share in the comments. We would love to learn if that is resonating. Now, it gets even deeper than that, because we believe that you deserve to become an authentic impact maker through the power of stories. Your story is your power. That's what differentiates you. I wrote the whole book on that subject, and it's called Your Story is Your Power, my second published book. I wrote another one featuring my life story from poverty in Ukraine to building my life on my own in America without English speaking skills and all of those challenges I have discovered firsthand in my experience and working with numerous clients that your story is your power. You have to tap it, you have to embrace it, you have to learn to express it, because that's what creates the transformational presence about you. Clarity, confidence, and ability to express yourself powerfully. And for that matter, I truly believe that business, any business, should be used as a force for good, to make a difference, to create change, to empower people in the context of what you do. Because otherwise, why bother? Why bother? Now, I want to share with you a little story about one of my clients, Michelle De Stefano. I worked with her some time ago, and she's a phenomenal lady. She's making this, she's holding my book, actually, my first book. Now, she came to me because she wanted to build her coaching business. She is part of our Conscious Coaching Academy as well. Now, her career of being a nurse leader for 30 years abruptly ended. She was just let go, and after a short time of a pity party, she decided to take a jump and into that scary world of entrepreneurship. And quickly she discovered that she couldn't really communicate the value she could bring to her clients. She didn't really know how to leverage her experience, her expertise, and her wisdom. She is a powerhouse, but she needed to learn how to put it all together. So we started working together, leveraging her story and crafting her signature blueprint. Michelle, she's an action taker. She developed what she calls the SOAR methodology, a comprehensive program that she takes her clients on. And she had some great success with one-to-one clients. She had some great traction. But soon enough, she realized that she reached that ceiling of like trading time for money, and she couldn't really grow. So she came up with the idea to start her membership circle, to leverage her time better. Like, in other words, working smarter. And her goal was to sign 10 clients for a year membership. She kept giving me the snippets of progress, and she was sending me emails. And the latest email she sent me is that she signed the 9th member to her inner circle. She actually signed 10, but she do you understand what it means? Like, she has 10 people who have committed to a year's membership. There is no reason why Michelle's story can't be your story, but it begins with leveraging your biggest asset, your biggest differentiator, which is your story. So let's talk about how you can show up and how you can position your value in order to grow your business and to grow your results. So again, let me just share with you this model. So first, we have to consider how you show up. And many people, when it comes to public speaking or sharing their message, especially when they're starting, they show up to impress. When you show up to impress, it's all about you. Hey, look at me, I'm so great. But when you show up to inspire, it's no longer about you, but about your audience and the impact you are making. The second aspect we need to consider is how you position your value. And a lot of people who just start speaking, whether it's online or offline, they're not very clear on how to express the value. So it's a little bit shallow and confusing. Now, it doesn't mean that the value is not there. It just means that they are not really clearly positioning it in a powerful and compelling way that gets attention, creates curiosity, and compels people to take action. But if you figure out how to position your profound value in a simple and easy to understand way, everything changes. Now, depending on how you show up and how you position your value, what are those quadrants that you can occupy? Well, I have been speaking for nearly 11 years, or actually 12 years. And Peter will say the same thing, that we have seen it. If you show up to impress and you don't really know how to position your value in a succinct and crystal clear way, you occupy this space of being a copycat. It's kind of like, a lot of people are regurgitating other people's quotes or statements, some ideas, phrases, following templates. They're there to impress, to demonstrate how much they know, how much they have learned, but it's a red zone, right? It's not interesting because it's just copy paste, really. On the other side, you can figure out how to position your value in a profound way, in a simple and easy to understand way. But if you still come from the place of trying to impress people, you occupy this space of what I call being the ego person. Hey, look at me. I am a big shot. Here, I know the success formula, but frankly, I don't really care about you or your results. I just want your money. Have you seen those people on the marketplace? Because I certainly have, and they might have created success, but it's all about them. And it's not an authentic impact maker pathway, because we stand for integrity and authenticity. So the first shift you need to make, really, if you want to elevate your speaking game, is you need to shift from trying to impress people to inspire people. And I have seen certainly that a lot of people, they make the shift and they truly want to inspire people. They want to make a difference. They want to create a bigger impact. But if they haven't really figured out how to position their value in a crystal clear and powerful certain way, they occupy the space of being an amateur. They are making these awkward attempts at sharing their stories and trying to express their unique voice, but there is a lot of room for growth. And it's not that clear, it's not that compelling, it's not that succinct, and it's not that desirable. They haven't really figured it out yet. Our goal for you is to occupy this top quadrant, this dark green zone, of when you are there to inspire people. You truly connect with their hearts. You open up their minds, but you also know how to position your value in a powerful way that allows you to create growth for your business. And this is the place of what I call being a respected expert in the eyes of your audience, in the context of public speaking. You already are a respected expert, but now you want to elevate your game with the help of speaking. Now, this is the place where you share your stories, you share your path, but it's no longer about you. Even though you share your path, but you build credibility, you build connection, you show your audience what's possible. So what would that mean for you to occupy that dark green zone? Would that make a difference in your life, in your results, in how you show up and how you communicate? Well, I hope it will, because that's what we offer. Now, you can also take this even higher. If you take your ability to inspire and position your value of 8 and above, you can occupy the space of what I call being the visionary guide. where you guide people towards what's possible for them. Now, what is the difference between being a respected expert and being a visionary guide? Well, the moment you step up into being a visionary guide, you make this space available for your audience. So you look at them as respected experts and you help them elevate their results in the context of what you do. So we have a program, as Peter shared, we have a program, Speak with Impact, that can massively elevate your game for you to become the visionary guide, to gain that confidence, that certainty, that crystal clear positioning of your value. And it's a 6-week program, which we will talk about in just a little bit. But for now, I just want you to focus on, your future. Most people believe that the difference between the space between today and the future is a straight line. But it's not a straight line, it's a curve, and it accelerates the further down you go. Now, it can go up into the bright future, let's put it your dream business, or it can slide down on the red line into mediocrity or worse. Quick question, where do you want to be? Do you want to be on the green line or do you want to be on the red line? Now, if you are like us, you obviously want to be on the green line. You are hungry, growth-orientated person. Now, what is the difference, you might ask? Good question. The difference between a red and green line is the difference between drift and decision. You have to make a conscious decision to step up for your life and for your business, and make a conscious decision to stay on the green line. Because the truth is that people don't fall off the green line. They behave off the green line. They are not disciplined. They are not committed to stay on the right track of actions and commitment in order to achieve their desired results. Now, you need accountability, you need support, and this is why Peter and we are offering you that support that will show you the roadmap, the step-by-step structure to help you elevate your business results through confident speaking, impactful speaking. So what does that look like? We have this program, Speak with Impact. It's a 6-week process. Become transformational presence and elevate your results. What's inside? Very quickly, because we are short in time. Session number 1, Peter will talk about why you are speaking. You have to really align the objective of your speech to make it impactful, because that will set the tone of your entire speech. It will clarify your thinking. I will talk about why stories as a way to differentiate yourself on the marketplace, build credibility, elevate your brand, and express your uniqueness and how remarkable you are. Second session is all about the point or your message. There is no point of sharing stories or sharing any information presentation if you are not clear on the message. What's the takeaway? What's the central theme? And Peter Roper is a master at teaching people do that. And I will share with you the storytelling framework. A lot of people say, yes, I have lots of stories, or I don't have enough stories, and I don't know how to express them, how to structure them. Well, there is a very clear and very simple to use structure that I'm going to walk you through, this simple formula that will help you organize your content, organize your story, your anecdotes, your different events in your life that you could leverage to connect and open people's hearts. Session number 3, how do you close a speech? Well, you have to begin with the end in mind, because a strong closure leaves a lasting impression on your audience. What you're going to say last is what people are going to remember most. So you have to be strategic about it. And I'm going to talk about the types of stories in order to, again, like strategically improve your business or career results. What are those stories? You know, your personal stories, your origin stories, client stories, the solution stories. What purpose are you pursuing to for sharing stories? Like, what do you want? What action do you want your audience to take? And there is a strategic approach. Session number 4, how do you open a speech? You have only one chance to make the first impression. If your opening is not captivating, if it doesn't capture attention, no matter how golden the rest of your presentation or speech is, people are not going to listen to you. So you have to be, again, strategic to grab them, to hook them right away. And I will talk about the strategic approach to influencing your audience with storytelling. How to not only capture attention with your stories, but also cultivate interest, awaken desire, and inspire action. So you not just, like a lot of people, just create noise, but it's about inspiration. Sometimes you entertain people, but also moving people to take action. Session number 5, what should you put in the body of the speech? And this is the part where you're going to have most of fun. And it's probably the easiest part of the whole process. And Peter will have lots of great fun with you if you have done the previous steps correctly. So it's the substance of your speech. It expands on the opening and the main message and really flashes out the point you are making. And I will talk about how to generate ideas that stand out. I have worked with lots of people, and you will not believe how many have said, "Oh, but I don't have a story-worthy idea to share. Like, I don't have attention-worthy stories to share." That's not true. It actually is, the more ordinary you think ordinary, even though your stories are extraordinary, the more ordinary your examples or your stories are, the more relevant you will be. It's all the matter of finding that insightful message and a way to position it from your unique perspective, in your unique voice. And there is a strategy to that. Again, there is a formula how to generate creative ideas, to get your creative juices flowing, to make a difference and to create one of a kind and unique message. And session number 6 is about accountability, plan of action, discussions, feedback, and questions. So obviously we're going to do questions and answers and accountability throughout the whole process, but this is like where the rubber meets the road. So we really we strategize with you what you're going to do and how it's going to happen, and we are going to be there to support you. So that's the program, Speak with Impact. I'm going to share, I don't know, Peter, if you want to share the QR code. I don't know how technology is. You are not really...
There you go. There's the code.
There's the code. Cool. Yes. So if you have anything else to add, please share. Share, Peter. I don't know.
I will do. I'm just pressing a couple of buttons quickly. I'm also just been reading a load of comments on social media as well, which has been lovely. So let me just...
Thank you for watching, guys.
yeah, no, it's been good fun. So let's just bring you back to that, and let's see how we go with that. So you've got that on there, and also definitely having a few tech problems here today. I do apologize. I don't know why. It just seems to be one of those days where we just accept the fact that that's what it is. I mean, that's the name of the program itself, which is great. And obviously pick up on the QR code. That's the simple thing to do. Just pick up on the QR code, and I'll bring myself back in as well. But as you can see, there's a bit of a delay on it at the minute. We'd be delighted if you would like to know more about the program. Even more so, we'd be delighted if you actually want to come onto the program itself. We've already had people saying they want to. I think the thing for me, really, it's very simple. There's a lot of experience between us. There's a lot of ability between us. And, you know, both of us have done one thing consistently, which is help lots of people to stand up and speak and present. It's not just the fact that the two of us have been doing that. You know, I've been helping people for 27, 28 years now, something like that. And I know that between us, we can make a difference for you. And I think some of the comments that I've just seen on social media, which are very kind, thank you. And I've answered them where I could. It is about experience. It is about understanding it. And it's also about understanding the fact that you can put a process in place that will work for you as an individual. And I think that's the thing, Anna, isn't it? It's about giving somebody the opportunity to create something that works for them. So it's not a one size fits all approach.
Absolutely.
If you do this will work. I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, actually, and they were working through a specific and very rigid structure, which is fine in one circumstance, but it's not something you would use all the time. And once we'd had a conversation and actually shared some of the stuff that we've been sharing today, they said, do you know what? I'm going to rip this up and completely change it. And I know they already have, and they're already way farther on. Not because we're geniuses. It's the experience that says, hang on a minute, don't do that. This is the way of doing something. And you know what? It'll work because it's proven. And I guess that's the thing for us. So the QR code is there. What I suggest you do is click on it, take a look at it. Yes, Anna, go on.
Yes, and I just wanted to add on that point that it's a really valid point, Peter, is when you're presenting, when you're sharing your message, you have to be yourself. Which is really like you can't be someone else, and that's why you gain that reputation. Now we all understand that you can't be someone else. You have to claim your own spot. But what exactly does that mean? Like, how do you translate it into the message? And this is why we invite you to come on board, so we can share the process, some actual practical steps that you can take to take this ambiguous and abstract idea, be yourself, and translate it into a message that gets attention, that creates curiosity, that expresses your credibility, because you have credibility, and a lot of people don't take credit for where the credit is due. So just be yourself. We're going to break it down. What exactly does that mean, and how it translates into specific actions and steps you can take to elevate your game. So, but whether you like, you would like to share, join us or not, we would love to be delighted. We would be grateful, but just take conscious decisions, make conscious decisions to elevate your life. So you can tell it's difficult to shut me up, so I'm going to shut up now.
Well, I just say, Jamie, I think you're still listening. For instance, Jamie Pratt's been listening to this and has said some very kind things. Jamie, thanks for that. Appreciate it as ever. So I'm getting a thumbs up from there, so that's good. We're 9 out of time. Look, it's real simple. If you want to move on and upwards, and if you want some people who are experienced and looking at it from different perspectives, generationally, we'll look at it differently. Obviously, the difference between male and female as well. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we can help with that. It's real simple. Just click on the link, take a look at it, and then if you want to know more, obviously, if you want to sign up straight away. We'd be very pleased if you do. But most people, they want to have a chat, and that's how we like to do things. So simply let us know. We'll have a chat with you, and we'll go from there. And hopefully, you found that useful. Time is now for us to move on. Anna, as ever, thank you. Jamie, thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate it. And for everybody else that's watching and listening to it, again, all the kind comments on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. Really appreciate that. And we'll see you all soon. So it's time for the noisy music. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.